All right, fourth graders, this is our practice test to get ready for tomorrow's test. This is practice test 16A. All right, so we have Miguel faces east and then turns 90 degrees clockwise. What direction is Miguel facing? So we put our compass down to make sure we have our right directionals. Never-ending Star Wars, or never eat soggy Wheaties, or whatever thing you have, never eat sour watermelon, anything that you can come up with to remember NESW. Alright, he's facing east, and now he's turning 90 degrees clockwise. The clock goes in this direction. So this is 90 degrees. Remember, those right angles are 90 degrees. 90, 180, 270, 360. So now he is facing this direction, or south. South. Okay? For number 2, kiwis cost 89 cents per pound. What is the price for 7 pounds? So we have 89 cents times 7 of those. 9 times 7 is 63. 8 times 7 is 56. And 6 more gives me 62. Sorry. And I can say it's 623 cents, or I could say it's $6.23. Okay, double check my work, especially since I was distracted by something outside. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 and 6 gives me 62. So we have $6.23. Okay, let's continue on then and take a look at the next question. In darts, the sum means to add. So we have Julie plus Jose equals Jana's score. So Jana's score was 91. Jose's score was 37. And I'm trying to find Julie's score. So I have something plus 37 equals 91, or 91 minus 37 equals whatever Julie's score is. So I'm going to take that 91 and I'm going to subtract that 37 from it. Cross out my 9, making an 8. This becomes an 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. So Julie's score would be 54. I can add that to make sure. 4 and 7 is 11, carry my 1. 5 and 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9, and that equals Jana's score. All right. On to our next one. 1/8 of 96 delegates were assigned to each room. How many delegates were assigned to each room? So I have 96 of them, and I want to break them into 8 equal groups. So I'm going to take and divide them into 8 groups. All right, so we have how many 8s can we get out of 9? That's the dad part. We get 1. Dad's only one allowed on the roof, remember? So roof times the door ends up on the floor. That's mom multiply. Sister subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. Brother in town, so bring him on down. How many 8s can I get out of 16? I get 2. That goes on the roof again. 2 times 8 is 16. Sister subtract. You end up with 0 remainder. So 12 delegates excuse me, were assigned to each room. All right, when you draw a triangle that is congruent, that means it needs to be exactly the same. Okay, so we're going to take this and I'm going to mark it, and now I'm going to make that line. Sorry. I'm going to look at that line. Oh, that line's the same size. And then we can just connect. Sorry, that's loud. Now we have a congruent triangle. Now it asks us to draw a line of symmetry. If you notice, it says its line, one line, not plural. There is only one line of symmetry in here, and it goes right through the middle. So you have our congruent triangle, we have our line of symmetry. When you draw this, make sure you use a ruler. Okay, I did not use a ruler, mine is somewhere else, so make sure you find a ruler and make that nice and straight. Alright, what fraction of the letters in the word Mississippi are not I's? So first of all, I'm going to figure out how many letters I actually have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My denominator is 11 then. How many are not I's? Okay, so not I's. We're going to get rid of the I's. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 elevenths are not I's. Number 7. The truck weighs 2 tons. How many pounds is 2 tons? Well, 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. And if I have 2 of them, I can either multiply it by 2 or I can add another group of 2,000 to it, and that would give me 4,000 pounds. So 2,000 plus 2,000 gives me 4,000. All right, number 8. Which is more reasonable measurement weight for an adult human? Grams are like paper clips, so 80 paper clips, or about 2 pounds a piece for a kilogram, so we'd have to say B is more accurate. All right, which triangle appears to be a scalene triangle? A scalene has 3 different sides, 3 different lengths on our sides. We have an isosceles that has 2 sides that are the same, looks like an ice cream cone. And then we have the right triangle, and we have the equilateral triangle that has 3 sides that are all the same. All right, so this one looks more like an isosceles since these 2 sides are the same, and this one is different. This is an equilateral because they're all correct, they're all the same size. This is my right triangle, so the scalene triangle then would be D. D. Okay. Number 10. We have 75,021 is how much greater than 64,957 dollars. When you write your numbers down, double check them to make sure that it is what it says up here. 75,000 is where the comma goes. $21. Well, I have 0 100s and then $21, so I have to keep that 0 in there or else it's the wrong number. So let's go ahead then and subtract. Cross out my 2, make it a 1. This becomes an 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. Can't do 1 minus 5, so I go next door. There's nothing there. Go next door again, get that 4, and then make this a 10. Now I can take 1 away and make it a 9. This then becomes an 11. 11 minus 5 is 6. 9 minus 9 is 0. Put our comma in. 4 minus 4 is 0. 7 minus 6 is 1. I'm going to double check my answer. 10,064 plus 6, 4, 9, 5, 7. Add them together and I get 75,021, which is exactly what I started with. So $10,064. Take your time, double check your work, show your work. I need to see your work. So make sure that if you do it on a separate sheet of paper that you staple it to it if you're If you're going to send it, if you're going to email it, then just make sure that you send a copy of your work so I can see what you did. All right, estimate. Estimate means to round these numbers. We want to find the sum. That means we're adding. So we have 287, which rounds to 300, 708, which rounds to 700. We add them together, and we get 1,000. All right, next one. Lo could paint 12 signs in 2 hours. How many signs could he paint in 1 hour? Well, assuming that he can do the same amount each time, we take that 12, divide it by 2 hours, then we get 6 paintings per hour. Make sure you label. I'm trying to save some time for you as we go through, but I would like your labels like 6 signs, delegates, whatever it is. All right, so here we have, do this first because it's in parentheses. So we start with 268 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Then we have 6 times 8 is 48. 48 and 6 gives you 54. 8 and 2 is 16. 16 and 5 is 21. All right, I double check my work. 8 and 8 is 64. 48 and 6 gives me 54. 16 and 5 is 21. All right, now I go on. Now I have to take 4,109 and I subtract the number that I had here. So 2144. And I subtract it. 9 minus 4 is 5. Can't do that. Go next door, cross it out. That becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. Cross out that 4, make it a 3. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 1,965. 1,965. All right. So if you double check each section as you go, you're less likely to make a mistake. So take your time, make sure you're doing it right. $7.97 times that by 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 9 times 7 is 63 plus 4 more is 67. Again, 7 times 7 is 49. 49 then and 6 gives us 55. We put our decimal point and $sign in. Double check your work. Of course, knowing those multiplication facts are going to help you a lot with these. All right, 15. We have 64.8. Remember, we need to line up our decimal points when we add. So this is what we actually have here. Okay, 7, 9, decimal point 6, 6. So you have 66.97. 66.97. All right, when we go up to 16 here, how many 4s can we get out of 32? We can get 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Sisters subtract. Brothers in town, so bring them on down. How many 4s can we get out of 2? 0. 0 times 4 is 0. Subtract. We get our 2. Brother in town, bring him on down. How many 4s can we get out of 28? 7. 7 times 4 is 28. Sisters subtract. No more brothers in town, so we're done. Remainder is 0. I'm only going to put the remainder of 0 up there right now because you need to get used to that remainder part being up there. If you have remainder of 2 and you don't put it up there, you're going to end up with half wrong because it is you need to show me your remainders. All right. I probably would have written this out over here. That's kind of scrunching up numbers. I'm going to do that for sure with this one. 4,321 divided by 5. So how many 5s can we get out of 43? We can get 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Sister, subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. Bring down my 2. How many 5s can I get out of 32? We can get 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract. Brother in town, bring him down. Now he needs to talk to Dad. How many 5s can I get out of 21? 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract. We have 1 left over, so we have 864 with a remainder of 1. Okay. You can double check your work. You can do 864 times 5. Remember, your remainder always has to be smaller than the number you're dividing by. Okay, this always needs to be smaller than this. All right, multiply it. 32, carry my 3, 40, 43. Oh, but this isn't the same number. Why not? Because I need to add my remainder in. Add that 1 in, and I get 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay? Double check that work. All right. So this is saying 287 equals 7 times k. If that's what that's saying, then I know 7 times k equals 287. Then 287 divided by 7 equals k. It's like a facts family. So we're going to take that 287, we're going to divide it by 7. How many 7s do we get out of 28? We get 4. That goes on the roof. That's a dad thing, right? Then mom is roof times door, ends up on the floor. 7 times 4 is 28. Sister, subtract. We get 0. Brother in town, so bring him on down. Now he needs to talk to Dad. How many 7s can I get out of 7? 1. That goes on the roof. That's a dad thing. Only Dad goes on the roof. Mom, multiply. 1 times 7 is 7. Sister, subtract. We have 0 remainder because there's no more brothers, so k equals 41. When we look at number 19, we have two numbers we add together plus another number equals the final answer. Now I know this number has to be smaller than this number, so that means I need to do some type of subtraction problem. But first, I'm going to add these two numbers together because I want to see how much do I already have. 2 and 1 is 3. 9 and 4 is 13. Carry my 1. 6 and 3 is 9 plus 1 more is 10. Carry my 1. 4, 5, 6. 6,033. Now I can subtract it from that 8,237. And when we subtract that, we end up with 2,204. Then I would want you to plug this into here, do that math, and make sure that you got 8,237. All right, our final one is comparing the ounces in a pint to the ounces in a cup. So I want you to think about that big number thing that we have. We have that G, and then that G has 4 Q's in it for quarts, and then each Q has double P's in there for the pints, and then each pint has 2 C's in it for the cups, and then each C has an 8 in it that looks like little zeros or O's, and that's because it stands for ounces. And we put the 8 in there just to remind ourselves that there's 8 ounces in that cup. Okay, so this is what our diagram would look like to show ounces and cups and that type of thing. All right, now I need to show the number of ounces in a pint and the number of ounces in a cup. So 1 pint would be the same as I have an 8 here and an 8 here in the P in that pint, so that's 8 and 8 and 16. So this would be 16 ounces, Over here in 1 cup, 1C has an 8 in it, so that's 8 ounces over here. So when I compare them, I would have 16 ounces, which is 1 pint, is greater than 8 ounces, which is 1 cup. Okay, they wanted you to convert it to ounces and then do your greater than, less than, equal to sign. All right, so that's your practice test for today. I hope you do extremely well tomorrow on your test. Go back over, look over things that you got wrong, and keep practicing those facts.